What is apartheid? Apartheid, Afrikaans language, translates to apartness in English. It was a political and social system in South Africa during the era of white minority rule. This system of institutionalized racial segregation existed in South Africa and Namibia from 1948 to 1994. Racial discrimination against non-white people existed already in the 19th century. But in 1948, when the National Party took power, new and even more strict apartheid laws of segregation were enforced. During apartheid, people were divided and separated by law into four racial groups: white, colored meaning mixed race, Indian and blacks. White citizens had the highest status, followed by coloreds, Indians and blacks. The system ensured that white people dominated South Africa politically, socially and economically. Meanwhile, the black majority lived in poverty without access to higher positions in politics and the economy. Black people were denied many basic rights. They were forced to carry ID cards known as passbook. Strict curfew laws were put into place for them. The first apartheid law prohibited mixed marriages. This meant it was illegal for people of different races to marry. From 1961 to 1983, over 3 million black people were forcibly removed from their homes. The white government deposited them into restricted areas, known as Bantustans. This kept the majority of the land for white people, especially rich places like the gold mines of Johannesburg. Other laws forbade social contacts between races, authorized segregated public facilities, established separate educational standards and restricted each race to certain types of jobs. There were many protests in South Africa, like the Sharpeville massacre and Soweto uprising in 1976, where police opened fire on students protesting peacefully, with estimates of up to 700 people dead. Resistance and boycotts towards apartheid came from all circles, not only within South Africa but internationally. Some countries showed moral and financial support for the South African freedom movements. When de Klerk became president of South Africa in 1989, he ruled for the release of Nelson Mandela from prison. Mandela was imprisoned for 27 years for resisting against the apartheid system. The first multiracial election in which all races could vote was held in 1994. Nelson Mandela was elected president, and this date is considered the end of apartheid. The new multicolored flag of South Africa adopted in 1994 to mark the end of apartheid. Credits.